Changers International, changing lives for the better. Our vision is to be a transformative platform that exposes lies and reveals the truth. Mind Changers International, we on a mission, masking the falsehoods with every new edition. We're here to enlighten your mind with this vibration, expose the lies, speaking truth, normal conversations. Mind Changers International, we on a mission.
Welcome to Mind Changers Podcast. I'm your host, Lamar Blakney, and I got my man, my sidekick, Mr. Shann Atkinson.
What's going on, Lamar? How are you doing tonight?
Man, I'm doing good, brother. I'm doing good. We had a little technical difficulties starting up, but we back. Wasn't posting to Facebook. But anyway, man, we got an exciting show, Shann. A very, very exciting show. So listen, welcome back to Mind Changers Podcast, where real conversation meets real healing and faith always take the lead. Yeah, Shann is paused. He's in an animation state. I don't know where he went. Oh my God, we are having some technical difficulties tonight, and I don't think it's on my end because my internet is on so much fire right now. I'm about to call the fire department. Listen, Shann, go ahead on and hit your line up in there, man. I don't know what happened, man.
Yeah, with today's episode, I mean, it's personal, it's raw, it's sacred. I mean, we're diving into what happens when the covenant or the marriage breaks.
Yes, because marriage is supposed to be sacred, y'all. It's supposed to be a bond, a covenant, not a contract. Even though we treat it like a business, not a contract. But what happens when the covenant is fractured by infidelity, fractured by blended families? And I'm going to tell you, blended family drama is real. Fractured by abuse, that's real. Lies, neglect, or financial instability. And what happens when the very promise meant to protect you starts to hurt you, people?
Absolutely. I mean, let's be clear. We're not here to judge by no stretch of imagination. We're here to help, to offer perspective, to offer hope, and to remind you of this. Yahweh was the witness to your covenant, and he still has something to say about it, even if it is broken.
That's right. So listen, y'all, today, Shann and myself, we're going to walk you guys through the wreckage, right? And we're going to hand you some tools like a screwdriver of love, the hammer of faithfulness, not just, not just for you to survive the aftermath, but listen, y'all, but to heal, to rebuild, or, hey, even if you have to walk away in peace and still be friends, that's what we want to talk about tonight, when the covenant breaks and hey, you're left there with debris. So Shann, let's talk about it tonight, man.
All right, man. Let's move on to our first segment. All right. The first segment that we're gonna touch on is what is a covenant and how can it break? I mean, you come into a marriage, you're head over heels in love with your spouse, and it's been a couple of years and things start happening. Infidelity, lying, drug abuse.
Where's Shann go? I don't know what's going on. Y'all see he froze, y'all? He playing the game. Yeah, Shann playing the game. He doing the froze game. I don't know why he keep getting kicked out, y'all, because it ain't my side. I don't know what side it is, but yeah. So Shann, I mean, listen, bro. I'm telling you, on my side, I don't know what's going on.
I don't know what's going on. On my side, it's everything is flawless on my side.
All right, man. So get in on your segment, bro. Just start your segment over, man.
Yeah, absolutely. The first segment we're going to talk about is what is a covenant and how can it break? I mean, you're head over heels in love. You've married your spouse. You're in it for a few years, and next thing you know, something happens. Infidelity, lying, financial things start happening. That blended family you talked about, where other outside forces are now upset with your marriage and start, coming in and wanting to try to shake things up. Yeah. So, I mean, let's begin with what a covenant really is. Yeah. I mean, a covenant is not just a promise between two people. It's a sacred vow made before God. It's spiritual, it's emotional, and it's legal. I mean, when you come together, you profess your love for your spouse. You go in front, like we all know, you go in front of a church or you go
Mm-hmm.
in front of a judge, and you proclaim that this is my spouse. This is the individual that I'm going to be with till death do us part. The Bible says that God hates divorce. God hates when our hearts harden, when we no longer can work together, or we can no longer be in love or be together, and He
Yeah.
hates that we're no longer together.
Yeah.
But because we're human,
Mm-hmm.
things happen. Our hearts do harden. Things do happen. We forget our way. We make mistakes. We make decisions that are going to harm. I mean,
Yeah.
well, let's just look at Malachi 2:14, which says, "She is your partner, the wife of your marriage covenant. The Lord is the witness between you and her." So when a spouse commits infidelity or
Mm-hmm.
walks out or becomes abusive, the covenant is torn, not just with each other, but with the source who was invited at the altar. When you stood before God and you
Mm-hmm.
said, "I love this individual. I want to be connected to this person for the rest of my life." God is absolutely the God is absolutely the sorry, somebody was trying to call me. God is absolutely the witness of what happened.
Yeah. So let's talk about I turn my mic back up. Let's talk
Uh-huh.
about what a covenant is, right?
Okay.
Man, there was a lot of great information that you provided, right? But
Mhm.
you know, I don't think I know when I first got married, I really I didn't know the true definition of I really didn't know what I was doing. I knew I did it, but I
Mhm.
didn't look at the spiritual side when
I got you.
God when we gone before God, even though
Mhm.
we didn't have a wedding at the beginning.
Right.
We went to God and we said, "Hey, God, we want to join together and belong with you," right?
Right. Right.
A lot of us never truly took that covenant serious or knew the
Yeah.
the consequences of breaking
Mhm.
that covenant. Now, man, listen, getting divorced
Yeah.
is just a thing now. Like you said, God hates
Yeah.
divorce, but a
Yeah.
covenant is not just with you and that person, is with
Right.
you, that person, and Yahweh.
Right.
Y'all three decided to be
Right.
together,
Right.
and that's supposed to have been one cord, right? One
Okay.
cord.
Okay.
And now you're breaking that cord because of money. You're breaking it because of infidelity. You're
Right.
breaking it because of abuse. And like I said,
Right.
we said on one of the other podcasts, Sean,
Mhm.
no, nobody should stay in something that's making them miserable.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I
But
believe
if,
that. I mean, because let's go even deeper. Let's talk about, you said the covenant between your spouse, and God, and
mm-hmm,
that is absolutely at the core of what the covenant is. But let's go a whole nother layer. It's
mm-hmm,
between the children. It's between the
uh,
friends that are the mutual friends of that relationship that
mm-hmm,
have watched you, that have seen you grow, that have seen you, in love, and seen you, and hung out with you and whatnot. So those individuals are also going to be affected. The children, the friends,
mm-hmm,
um, your colleagues, people that require you to be stable, to be a stable individual, and have watched how you could be stable in those relationships. So that's a whole nother layer to this whole to the covenant that we also have to look at as well when we're talking about it's time to break the covenant. So
yeah,
there's other things and other people that you have to consider when you're moving into that season of your life.
yeah, yeah. And I'm telling you, in today's society, man,
Hmm.
being married can be challenging.
It can
It
be.
can be challenging for several reasons. So many
Right.
distractions. Nobody really cares. When I say nobody, I'm not making this everybody, but
Right.
let me say some. Some people just it's just a thing to do. Getting married is a thing to do. We
Oh
talked
yeah.
about it before. You got the big wedding. You got all these
Hmm.
things going, but when we go before the God that we believe in, the God that we serve,
Right.
and we say, "I do,"
Hmm.
we got to do some other things. And I'm telling you,
That's right.
I understand why different marriages break up. So if you someone out there and your marriage didn't work, no, we're not talking that you should have stayed. We're not
No.
saying that you should
No.
have kept it
No.
because your situation and your experience was yours
Absolutely.
only. and we
Absolutely.
don't know what that experience was and what you had to go through. So, Shann, let's
Yeah.
continue with your segment, man.
Yeah, definitely. Uh, the segment, the segment that we're in right now. Well, see, unfortunately, we often forget that Yahweh is that third chord that you
That's what we
talked
were just
about
talking
in
about.
the in that threefold chord of is so that chord of three strands is not only broken, but when we unplug from him, that
Yeah,
bond weakens. That bond is weakened, and when that bond is weakened, we start straying. We start straying in other directions.
yeah. And when it says that that cord is not easily broken, it's
Hmm.
not. If you ever talk to somebody who had a divorce, they'll tell you they went through some crazy stuff like losing weight. I
Hmm.
mean, their body changed because
Yeah.
when you separate that cord, man, you separating that spiritual connection, right? That
Right. Right.
spiritual connection. You're untangling. Our
Yes.
Dr. Jackie Shaw preached an amazing message, Sean, called
Okay.
it was an amazing message. She's talked about being tangled in entanglement, right? And the way she
Gotcha.
broke it down, man, it was powerful. But we're going to get her on the podcast, man, to talk about it. But that's the same thing
Awesome.
about this cord, right? When you get
Hmm. Hmm.
married, it says it's not supposed to be easily broken, but it
Yeah,
is in today's society,
it
man.
is. It is.
Yeah.
You, if you look at it right now, we're seeing a lot of millennials that
Hmm.
just don't see the. They don't see the importance of marriage
Oh, they don't care
because
about it.
because our generation, we show them differently. We show them that it doesn't seem to want to work because what I'm saying, and we've kind of ruined it, and because our generation before us, we saw marriages stay together whether they
Hmm.
were unhappy or whatever. I mean, you saw the churches that were telling the wife, I know he's tapping on that head, but you don't leave him because the Bible says you don't leave him. And then our generation, we saw our dads beat our wives. We saw our dads cheat on our wives, and
Hmm.
and then when we moved into marriage, we looked at it differently. And
Yeah.
then we fell victim to the same things. You know what I'm saying? We were beating
Yeah.
on our wives, we were cheating on our wives, or we were, and then our children, the millennials, are coming up and they're like, you know what? This ain't important. You know,
Yeah.
why should I get married when it could just break tomorrow? And then there's so much work involved with breaking that covenant. So we're just going to hook up. We're going to be together. We're going to love each other. We're going to live
Hmm.
together. And I don't even want to get into the whole thing of marriage. We're seeing more and more people that are seeing it that way, and
Yeah.
it's really sad. It's really sad.
Yeah. And a lot of us when we were younger, if most people parents weren't married. Should I
Hmm.
say most? Let's just say a lot of people parents wasn't married.
Right.
And so for those who had parents who were married, when children are born, the parents are the first teachers and the
Right.
household is the classroom. And whatever they learn, like you said, abuse, disrespect, and things like that,
Hmm.
that becomes a carbon copy of their footprint. That's an
It does.
experience that they take into a marriage. And I'm gonna tell y'all, if you somebody out there right now want to get married, look at the family connected to the man or that woman you gonna marry. And if that
Hmm.
family dynamics is not right, I'm not
Hmm.
saying don't do it because he may have a different mindset than them. But be
He
careful.
does. Yeah,
Tread lightly. Tread lightly.
it's definitely an example. It's
Hmm.
kind of examples that you can look at and see is how people were raised, and it gives you the opportunity
Hmm.
to not judge that individual. I don't want you to judge them because what you see. I just
Yeah.
want you to have those. I want you to have those conversations
Yeah.
about where people are thinking, where their head at is in this, and find out. Communication is a beautiful tool. It allows us to understand who people are and what they believe in and where they want to go in their future. So when you see
Yeah.
that, just have those conversations about what people think about marriage and how important they think that marriage is, and is it
Yeah.
something that you want to stay in, or is it something that, if I don't like it, I'm gonna get out of it and go to the next one.
Yeah.
So have those conversations. Absolutely have those
Yeah.
conversations.
So let's go to our next segment. Real reasons covenants collapse. Right.
Okay. All right.
So I tell you this, Sean. First
Mhm.
of all, infidelity. Right.
Oh, absolutely. That's
Infidelity.
probably number one.
Yeah.
That
It's
in
at the
today's age,
top. It's at the top
that's at the top.
of the
That's at the top.
list. This is when trust is violated. Your
Hmm.
intimacy is shattered, and I'm
Right.
gonna tell you, man. Now, I could be right or I could be wrong about this, Sean. I feel the reason why the Bible spoke of us waiting for marriage before we
Okay.
become intimate is because
Yes.
of the law of comparison, right?
Okay. Okay.
Now, if a woman has only been with one man and a man has only been with that one woman, then
Yes.
they have no spiritual entanglements, they have no spiritual soul
Hmm.
ties, they don't have
Hmm.
anything to make them even think like, I remember he did this to me or she did that to me. You don't have
Okay.
anything to compare. Now,
It does help. It does help.
yeah. And then that way, whether a person is endowed or not, a woman wouldn't
Hmm.
have anything to judge because she would only know what she got. If that
Okay.
makes
I
sense
see
what I'm
what you're
saying.
saying.
She'd only
Yeah,
know
it
what
makes sense.
she would only know what
Absolutely.
she has. But then society says, well, guess what? You didn't really go out and live. You should have experienced other people. That's the enemy talking.
Right.
That you should have experienced other people, and that now the relationship is not going to work because they didn't get out and experience other people. That's a trick,
Yep.
a treat.
Well,
That's a
I don't
trick
know.
and a treat.
I don't know. I mean, I might have to push back a little bit
Come
on
on,
that
push it.
because the prodigal son, if we just look at the prodigal son,
Mm-hmm.
he went out and sowed his oats. I mean, he was
Mm-hmm.
hooking up with every Jane there was out there. I mean, he blew through his entire inheritance, and it's pretty plain that he burnt it through prostitution and things of that nature. So I mean, he went out and sowed his oats, and then he realized, you know what, this is not what I want. This is not the kind of life
Mm-hmm.
I want for myself. And then he came home, and then, we know how the story ends. They gave him a beautiful garment and gave him his family ring, and the prodigal son returned. So I don't know if it's that cut and dry as far as, do we experience things before we come back to the fold of God, and to the fold of Christ. So uh, and I just look at that whole prodigal son as
Mm-hmm.
being that example, as being that example, because it just shows the love of God, the love of Christ. Even when we're out there and we're doing dumb things and we're experiencing life, as you said,
Mm-hmm.
we can also learn valuable lessons experiencing that life. That, like, what, this is not the life I wanted. I
Mm-hmm.
want something different. I want something different.
Yeah, and we know the prodigal son. His father blessed him. It wasn't
Yes.
God who blessed him. It was his
Well, that's true.
father. His
That is
his
true.
his his earthly father blessed him. So
That is true.
I can't say he got blessed by God. He got blessed by his daddy.
Right. Well,
Now,
God definitely pulled him up out of his situation and
yeah,
got
he
him back
did.
home.
He did. He
He
got
got
him
him
back
back home.
home. Now he
He
got him
got him
back
back
home.
home.
Now he got him back home. So let's talk about Sean. And this is one
Yeah.
thing that really affected my marriage in a tremendous way. It
I got you.
shouldn't, but it did. Blended
I got you.
families and outside children,
Yeah.
unresolved resentment or favoritism.
Hmm.
Let's talk about that for a minute. That's
Yeah.
that's a real that's a real sticky
It
situation.
is.
Some
It is.
people get married, man, and it's, hey, and if the parents are all willing to co-parent and do what they're supposed to do, it can be a beautiful thing, right?
Yeah. It can be.
But
It
then
can
if
be.
you got some parents that are not cool with the other parent, the kids start getting involved undercover. The kid comes
Right.
over the house like an undercover agent, go back and
Okay.
share the information, and then now you
Right.
arguing back. Why did somebody say this? Why did this happen? And then you trying to stay in the middle. Then your spouse is upset, and then the outside kid mom is upset, and then now you
Right.
find yourself in an uncompromising position.
That's
So
right.
blended families is a tough it's
It
tough
is.
on a marriage.
It is.
I
And
don't
it
care how
definitely
much you
is.
love the children, I don't care how much the
Right.
man love the outside kids or how much the woman love the outside kids,
Hmm.
because it was never designed that way.
Right.
It creates malfunction.
It does.
It
It does
creates
create malfunction.
dysfunction.
It
It
can.
creates resentment,
Hmm.
unresolved treatment. Then the outside parents say, well, you don't treat my kids like you got in the house. Nobody wants to treat their kids different. Nobody do, but it's based off of that parent's perspective,
Right.
the other outside parent perspective, because of
Right.
something you said or did.
Absolutely,
So
absolutely,
what you
and
think
and
about it,
and
Sean?
I yeah, and I've never had to experience that because
Mm-hmm.
I only have my children with my wife. But like I said, I've watched your struggles, I've watched other people's struggles, and that whole
Mm.
dynamic, and it definitely I can see where it's so difficult because you have so many different characteristics playing a
Uh-huh.
part. You got so many different moving parts that aren't inside of your household, inside of your control, inside of the of your ministry, if I could put it that way,
Mm-hmm.
that they're coming in with their own ideas, they're coming in with their own wants, their own desires, and their own resentments. And it's hard to pull everybody in under the same banner of let's move forward and let's get this done, because we're all human and we all have
Yeah.
emotions. And sometimes you may, as the father,
Mm-hmm.
neglect this one child, not because you meant to, it's just because of so many different dynamics, whether it's a mother that you can't get along
Mm-hmm.
with, or that child just feels like that they didn't get the love or the attention that, say, the children inside your home got.
Mm-hmm.
And it causes so much friction to where it will put a strain on the marriage, because then those outside forces start coming in and causing you and your wife to start arguing over
Mm-hmm.
things that that friction has occurred.
Yeah, yeah, man. And I'm gonna tell everybody, anybody out there who's about to get
Mhm.
married or want to be married, your children will become the beneficiaries of your lifestyle.
It will.
Whatever you've done all the way up to when they come out and start whang,
Hmm.
they're gonna be the beneficiaries of all the decisions you made. They're gonna be a
Right.
beneficiary of whatever situation mom and dad is dealing with, whether it's out. I don't want to say outside children that's not in the home. I don't like the word
Right.
outside children. Children that
Right.
are not living permanently within the home structure.
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah, because I don't have no outside kids. It's just children that don't live with me. So
I
let's
got you.
correct that outside kid stuff. So
I
Sean, go
got
to
you.
the next bullet point.
Yeah. Yeah. The next one would be just financial struggles,
Uh-huh.
lack of transparency when you dealing with debt, you're dealing with job loss, because as you're married, you come in and you're building wealth, you're
Mm-hmm.
building a life, you're building a home, you're building your finances, because that is, that's the power of marriage. That building, that common income that comes in together, that you're both making, if you're
Mm-hmm.
both breadwinners, or if one is the breadwinner and one's not, somebody will have a job in order to push those finances forward. But then something happens.
Yeah.
There's lack of transparency. You're spending money all crazy and you're not telling your other spouse. So then you fall into debt, or you lose a job and then you lose part of your income, and the bills start piling up. Those financial struggles are a huge obstacle to get over, because people have had a certain way of living, a certain
Mm-hmm.
way of a certain amount of money in their bank account. And in today's day and age, where you now have social media and everybody is flexing what they're doing, what they're buying, where they're going, and now this marriage now has financial struggles, and you don't see a light at the end of the tunnel, things start happening.
Yeah.
People start moving in a different direction, and they're like, you know what? I didn't sign on for this. I
Yeah.
want to be financially stable, and my partner is not helping me with that. So it's time for me to move on, and that does happen. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. And basically, man, what it does is, first of all, it brings on depression,
Mm-hmm.
right? You're
Mm-hmm.
unhappy. You feel like you pulling the load by yourself. And
Right.
listen, I've experienced that side. I've experienced that side, and for a
Mm-hmm.
man, I'm gonna tell you, it's demoralizing.
It can be.
It will make you feel emasculated if you're a
Absolutely.
man. It'll make you feel like, man, I'm not really being a man. But we talked about it
That's
last
right.
week.
That's
When it
right.
happens for the woman and she doesn't have to do anything physically, go work, she's
Right.
celebrated by the other women. It happened with the
Absolutely.
man, it's a double standard. Happens
It
with the
is.
man, hey, I ain't taking care of no grown man, but a grown man can take care of a grown woman. So
I got you.
we still have that 1950, 1960s mindset when it comes to working, right? So
Got you.
the next thing we're going to talk about, Sean, is poor communication.
Yeah.
no emotional intimacy, just
Hmm.
logistical updates, right?
Right. Right.
Emotional and physical abuse when the
Right.
covenant becomes a weapon and not a covering.
Gotcha.
Now, that's bad when the
It is.
covenant, the marriage, becomes a weapon and not a
Hmm.
covering.
Absolutely.
And
Because now
so,
you become an yeah, because you become an enemy. Now y'all become enemies and you're using that marriage as the weapon, like you said. It's like a sword,
yeah.
and you start cutting each other, and
Oh, yeah.
and you're going back and forth. Absolutely.
And I mean, you know, most people who exit the marriage, they exit as enemies.
Hmm.
They do not exit as
It
friends.
happens. It happens so much. It happens
And
so much.
to me, that means you wasn't done. You just was
Yeah.
mad enough to walk away. Because when you're done,
Right.
when you
Hmm.
cool, listen, hey baby, go enjoy your life. We're
Right.
gonna go get this thing done. We good. Da da da
Right.
da. But when there's still hurt and there's still
Hmm.
anger, and it can
Hmm.
be depending on what the
Hmm.
person went through. If somebody was getting their
Yes.
brains beat out, of course
Oh
you're
God.
not going to
Yeah.
be friends. But
No.
if it's, as they say, irreconcilable differences,
Hmm.
most people walk away as friends. Some
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah.
So let me be
Because
clear.
most. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Sean.
Oh, I was just saying. I was just going to reiterate that
Mm.
most of these covenants are broken with betrayal. That is
Yeah.
a huge. That's the huge thing when these covenants are broken. It's a
Hmm.
betrayal has happened, because a lot of times people they'll hang in there. They'll push through. They'll overlook things. But
Hmm.
when that betrayal hits, that it hits differently,
Yeah.
and it's like we ain't cool. We're not cool
Yeah.
anymore because you went out and you did something. You did that deal breaker. That deal breaker that I had. That was the deal breaker. So
And so,
absolutely.
let me be clear. Sean, you said it earlier.
Hmm.
Yahweh hates divorce, right?
Yes, yes,
Malachi
absolutely.
2:16. But he does not expect you to die in a covenant that's killing you, broken
Absolutely.
bones,
Absolutely.
abrasions on your face, contusions.
Yes.
He does
Yes.
not want
Yes.
you to stay in a toxic, abusive marriage. It's
Right.
not honoring the covenant when it's like that. It's
No, it's
allowing
not.
someone to profane it. That's what it
Yes.
does. God's God doesn't call you to suffer in silence. He
Does not.
calls you to wisdom, safety, and
Yes.
peace. And if you
Yes.
can't get that in a relationship, it's
You
over
can't.
with. Shut the front door,
Absolutely.
lock the door. Hey,
Hmm.
get out of it as fast as you can, because we
Yes.
live in a world now where
Hmm.
perspectives are different, behaviors are
Hmm.
different. People just don't function like they used to.
They don't. They don't. And I want to talk to the women out there specifically because
Uh-huh.
it's a big problem. If you are in a domestic situation or you're in domestic abuse with your husband, you do not have to stay there. God did not, like Lamar just said, God did not tell you to stay there and take a beating, because
Hmm.
that man has broken the covenant. That man no longer loves you. That man no longer um, honors the covenant of protecting you
Hmm.
and honoring you like he should. So in those situations, it's time to get out. If you see he's not going to put in the work, if you
Hmm.
see that he doesn't care, if you see that the only enjoyment he gets is harming you, then it is time to leave, and don't listen to what nobody says. And I will be the first to tell you, don't listen to the church. If the church is telling you,
Yeah.
no, you got to stay there, you got to believe God's going to get you through this, you got to go. Because
Yeah.
we're seeing too many women today that are losing their life because they're trying to hang on to something, and they're trying to stay in these harmful marriages, and these women are losing their lives.
Yeah.
And
They are.
they are losing these lives, and these men go crazy, and they become family annihilators. They kill women, they kill children, they kill themselves. And in that situation, it is time to go. It's
Yeah.
definitely time to
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. So Sean, let's go to segment 3.
Absolutely. Now the,
Yeah.
the next segment is when you had to walk away for the divorce, abandonment, or abuse. I mean, if you were forced out of your covenant because of repeated domestic violence, verbal and physical abuse, neglect, or abandonment, you need to understand this that doesn't mean you failed. It means you survived because
Mm-hmm.
the other individual no longer wanted to honor you, no longer wanted to honor what this whole thing was about, whether you're man or woman. Because we're seeing more men that are falling victim of domestic violence too. We're
Yeah.
seeing women tapping on men's heads too. We're seeing women cheat profusely on their husbands. We're seeing that now.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't always used to be that way. The women were always the very docile individuals in that,
Yeah.
loving, and they were the ones getting cheated on, and they were the ones that were getting all the domestic violence. It's still like that today, but we're seeing more men. So I want to make sure that men understand too. You have rights as well.
Yeah.
If your wife doesn't want to keep her hands off of you, or does not want to honor her marriage by cheating on this guy and that guy, you don't need to stay as
Yeah.
well. And understand, for both men and women, it doesn't mean you failed, because it just means that you survived that onslaught of another individual that just wanted to set out and hurt you. I mean, we can look at 1 Corinthians 7:15.
Mm-hmm.
And it says, "But if the unbeliever departs, then let them depart. A brother or sister is not bound in such case." And that whole depart that we're talking about is the individual that no longer wanted to honor. And all they wanted to do was harm and
Yeah.
destroy and maim and break hearts. And so it's not time to stay in those situations. If you've done all you can do and the other individual does not want to move forward, then it is time for you to exit that marriage.
Absolutely. And I'm gonna tell you, um, could nobody hit on me and then go to sleep? I promise you, they'll wake up like Nightmare on Elm Street.
I know, right?
Like Nightmare on Elm Street. Hold on,
Oh
man.
my
Let me
goodness.
hold on one moment.
Yeah. But definitely we got some tips and strategies for the
Yeah.
healing process that we're going to go over, because even in those situations, sometimes there is some reconciliation, and
Yeah.
if and we're going to get into that as well. But we can talk about tips and strategies for the healing process when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to walking away from a marriage. And the first most important thing is seek counseling, spiritual
Yes.
and therapeutic. There is nothing wrong to go sit with somebody, whether it's your pastor, if you trust your pastor, or trust somebody in
Mm-hmm.
church, or you go to a medical professional that specializes in people exiting their marriages and their covenants. You can sit and you can talk to those people, and they can help you through it. And
Yeah.
one other thing that's really important is don't isolate. Surround yourself with emotionally safe community. Somebody that, if you got a good friend, or if you got brothers and sisters, you got mothers and fathers,
Mm-hmm.
surround yourself with those people so that you don't isolate yourself. Because when you isolate yourself, the enemy starts talking to you. The
Yeah.
enemy tells you, go back into that situation, because that enemy wants you to get harmed. What else you got for him, Lamar?
Yeah. You know, Shann, and that's what happened in an abusive relationship.
Mm-hmm.
That spouse, the abusive spouse, will isolate that person from their family, friends,
Absolutely.
will keep them
Absolutely.
away from, people who have the ability to speak, common sense into their lives. And then you got
Absolutely.
to rediscover your identity outside of that relationship. You
Oh
have
God,
to.
yes.
You have to.
Who you are single. You have to
Yeah.
look at who you are single.
That's
Absolutely.
right. And then I'm gonna tell you, a lot of people will tell you about journaling the pain, but
It
also
works.
you got to
It
journal
works.
the progress. You have to
Yes.
journal the progress and rebuild your relationship with God, right?
Absolutely.
Because He's not mad at you because you had to
He's not.
abandon that abuse, that hurt. God is
Mhm.
not a part of confusion. Yahweh is not a
No.
part of confusion. He
Not
is
at all.
not. He is not a part of confusion. So let's get to segment 4, because I'm see what time it is. We're doing good. Segment
Yeah,
4.
we're doing good.
Now we've said all of that for those
Mhm.
who broke the covenant, accountability and redemption, right? So
Yeah.
if you the man or the woman, if
Mhm.
you the man who broke the covenant, whether it was through adultery, addiction,
Right.
maybe abandonment,
Yeah.
this segment right here we're going to talk about right now is for you. All right.
Absolutely.
So we're going to go to Psalms 51:17.
Okay.
The sacrifice of God are broken spirit.
Yes.
a broken and contrite heart.
Right.
Oh God, you will not despise.
Right.
But second,
Absolutely.
know that this is number 2. Know that
Hmm.
redemption is real, y'all. Know that this is David broke covenants. David was a covenant breaker. David,
Yep.
the Bible says he had the heart of God, but David
Hmm.
broke more covenants than I've dropped glasses, right?
Yeah, yeah, you did. Yes, he
Hosea's
did.
wife broke covenants. Yet
Hmm.
Yahweh used their stories for his glory,
That's
for the
right.
greater glory.
That's
So
right.
I want to provide those who have broken those covenants,
Hmm.
something to rebuild trust, right?
Yeah.
Confession and accountability. That is so important, right?
That's right.
Strategies to rebuild. Consistent behavior change.
Yeah.
Repentance mean turning. If you
That's right.
change and you're no longer a professional woman chaser, or a woman a professional
Hmm.
man chaser, or they chasing that
Hmm.
bag, or whatever it is, you have to just turn away, not a 360 but a 180, or
Yeah.
90 degrees, or 120 degrees. Just don't go in the
Whatever moves
same
you. Yeah.
direction
Yeah.
that you were
Exactly.
in,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
And I'm gonna tell you, professional and pastoral counseling, if you are a part of a ministry,
Yes.
I wouldn't go to a ministry who couldn't offer that to me,
Yes.
that couldn't offer me and my spouse that. Thank
Hmm.
God we don't need it, but
Right.
hey, you rather have it and not need it than need it and not
That's
have
right.
it. you
That's
know
right.
and give your spouse, and I'm speaking to myself on this, give your spouse
Hmm.
the time and space they need to
Absolutely.
heal.
That's important. I mean, you got to look at it this way, everybody. Don't try to rush reconciliation. If your spouse is still bleeding, your words will not heal them.
Mm,
Your your changed life will. They've got to see that you are a changed individual.
mm-hmm,
because because when we're wrong and we're out there doing wrong, we always use words to try to band-aid anything we do wrong. We come
mm-hmm.
in, it's like, oh baby, I didn't mean to do that. Oh baby, it was a mistake. Oh baby, I'll never do that again. Oh baby, I'm so sorry. Those words become a broken record to that individual, so the words don't work anymore.
Yeah, they don't mean
they've got
anything.
they got to see changed behavior, and like you said earlier, Lamar, consistent change
Mm-hmm.
behavior, and you got to give them time. You got to just step back and let them know, I'm here. And if we can fix this and we can move on, I'm here when you are ready. I am here when you're ready.
Yeah, and so we're gonna go to this next segment. I think we're about to
Okay.
exit out of all of this. And listen, this is gonna be our last episode on anything
Hmm.
that's dealing with marriage at this point. we
Right.
just we just wanted to tap into it for a little bit. So
Hmm.
Shann, when you're trying to stay and
Yeah.
rebuild, right?
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
if both spouse, the husband and the wife, if they have an ounce of fight in them, if they are willing to fight for
Okay.
that covenant,
Yep.
man, it can work. It will
It can.
work.
It
And
can.
then you got to draw the line in the sand, y'all. Then
Yeah.
you got to set clear boundaries and expectation. They always say don't put expectations on people. When you get married, there is an expectation.
Absolutely.
God
Absolutely.
expects you to do right.
Absolutely.
Sean, what's the next
And
one?
yeah, another one is that's just super important is rebuilding emotional intimacy before you even try to become physical intimate,
Mm-hmm.
because you've got to get the emotions right. Because when you're just focusing on physical intimacy, that right there is I've learned over time that is just a patch. It's nothing but a patch. It
Yeah.
it helps you for that moment. It helps you for just that little season in your life. But if you don't have the emotional intimacy, then you're going to backslide and you're going to do
Yeah.
whatever it is that you did before that started breaking that covenant. So you have
Yeah.
got to discipline yourself. That's the most thing. You got to discipline yourself. And
Yeah.
when you can put the brakes on the physical intimacy and show that individual that building trust with you, building emotional trust with you is more important to that kind of discipline goes a long way when the other person is watching.
Yeah. And then you know what? A lot of us don't even do this. I bet you out of 100 marriages,
Right.
probably only 5 of them pray together.
Okay.
Yeah. When
That
when
makes
there's
sense.
Even when it's awkward, you should.
Yeah.
Out of 100 marriages, how many of them study the word together, especially
Okay.
scriptures on love and forgiveness?
I got you.
And the last thing is fast for your marriage. When
Okay.
you fast, you should.
Yep.
It will break chains. It will
It will.
assist you. It will help you
It
get
will.
through some very tough and complicated times. And that's why Ephesians
Yeah.
4:2-3 says, be completely humble and gentle. Be patient, bearing with one another in love. Make
Okay.
every effort to keep the unity of the Spirit through the bond of peace. And
I
guess
got you.
what, John? It's hard to do that when you don't know the word. See,
Yep.
when you
Yep.
know the word, people don't understand. It helps the marriage. When
Okay.
you don't know the word, you don't know what to go to help encourage you. The Bible says
That's
David
true.
encouraged himself in the Lord. And
Okay.
so you have to be in a place where you can encourage yourself, even in the midst of a broken relationship or a troubled relationship. And
Okay.
that's why I believe a lot of relationships suffer, Sean, because they have no word in them to keep them together. That's the glue. That
It
is
can
the
be.
glue. And without that
Absolutely.
glue, hey, you're going to fall apart. You're going to fall
Hmm.
apart. So let's talk about tips and strategy recap, right? For those
Okay.
rebuilding or healing from a broken covenant. So,
I
Sean, I'll
got you.
let you go with that.
Yeah. Some that we can talk about is infidelity confessions. I mean, talk about it. Put it all on the table.
Mm-hmm.
Let all your dirty laundry out.
Mm,
This is what I have done. This are my transgressions. This is me telling you everything I've done so I can lay it all on the table and let you know I won't do this anymore.
yeah. And Sean, that helps
Counseling.
rebuild trust. Yeah.
It does. Counseling. You're going together. Go to counseling. Find someone that you trust that you can talk to and start building and to rebuild that trust over time. Because that is the whole strategy that you need to push through. It's going to take time
Yeah.
because you it seems like we fall in love really, really quick and we want to be with each other forever really, really quick. But when that trust is broken, the
Yeah.
pathway and the time it takes to get back to that is a whole lot takes a lot more time than it does when you first fell in love with that individual.
Yeah. And that's crazy. I mean, listen, you know, how can I say it? Abuse survivors, hey,
Yeah.
seek that safety. Like Sean said,
Seek it.
therapy,
Seek.
spiritual support, financial strain. Hey, if you're dealing with finance, create a budget, right?
Yeah. Right.
Transparent communication. Share your financial goals with your significant other. Build
Right.
blended families outside of kids. Open that dialogue up so the kids can tell you how they feel. Because if you listen to the whole situation, we can learn how to navigate through all of the dirt, all these other things. And I
That's right.
mean, listen, y'all, we know marriage is tough.
It's hard.
It, when I say it's tough,
It's hard.
it is tough. And most people say, I love you and I'll never cheat. Guess what?
Right.
We can't even keep a promise to God and he can send us to hell.
I know.
So
I know.
so think
I
about
know.
somebody looking at you telling you they ain't gonna never hurt you.
Yep.
Not true. Whether it's intentional or unintentional, somebody's gonna get hurt one way
Yep.
or another. So
That's right.
so Sean, listen, man. I'm gonna give a closing statement right quick, right?
Okay, go for it. Go
You
for it.
know, so covenants breaks hearts. You
Yep.
know, covenants they they uh they break people's minds, but grace still holds you up.
It does.
It still holds you up. If you believe in God, it still holds you up.
That's right.
It will still hold you up.
Yep.
Whether you're divorced, separated, or fighting to hold on, I'm gonna tell you, Yahweh is still the restorer. He is still the
That's right.
restorer of the peace. He doesn't throw people away, right?
No.
He
No.
doesn't throw you away because you broken stories, and he just helps rebuild you better, right?
That's
So
right. That's right.
if this covenant broke, don't stay
Mhm.
broken.
No.
Get to the source.
That's
Sean,
right.
what you got to close out with this, man?
Yeah. I mean, there's healing. There's redemption. There is life after heartbreak. Like we said before, God loves us. if we can no longer keep that covenant, that we can move on. We absolutely can move on. And if Yahweh is still God, then your story still has purpose. So please don't give up. Don't lose faith, and don't stop doing the work, because covenants can break, but grace never does.
Shann said covenants can break, but grace never does. Listen, we want to thank y'all. This is our, last conversation about marriage for right now. And just want you to, man, stay encouraged. Stay close to God. Be honest with yourself. Be honest with the people you love. Because if you love them, there should be some pure honesty. But listen, until next time, we are Mind Changers Podcast. No matter what you think of us or who you believe we represent, keep God and Christ first in your life. Until next time, grace and peace.
We told y'all, we came to expose the lies and reveal the truth. We told y'all, we bring in biblical principles of factual truth. We told y'all, we came to expose the lies and reveal the truth. We told y'all, we bring in biblical principles of factual truth. We told y'all,